This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is very sad how we come and stand here and the team negators tell us, think that mitigation is the best way is the best response to climate change. We came here and gave you the resolution and said that it is the most urgent. We are talking about adaptation being the most urgent. We're not talking about adaptation being the best. And the team negators are coming and telling us that mitigation is the best way. I have a feeling that they have not done their research well and have not understood the resolution. We as team farmers are saying that mitigation is not bad, but mitigation is not the most urgent response to climate change. That is why we are here saying that in the meantime, as we look for means of mitigating, we are going to adapt. You are not going to tell me that the second quarter of Africa, which is being covered by the Sahara Desert, is going to remain in its state as we are looking for a way to stop the Sahara Desert from spreading into the other quarter of Africa. Yeah? We are not just going to sit there and say, okay, now you're going to sit and wait for us to find a solution. Why don't we adapt? Why don't we find adaptive measures? Those people are going to have to change their dressing style. They're going to have to change their way of farming. That is what we call adapting. As we are looking for also the measures of mitigating, that is what team negators is not understanding. Allow me to state the major clash points of this debate. Team negators came and told us, they came and actually redefined for us the word to adapt. They said it means to adjust. That is what we are here for. We are here to adjust. And how are we going to adjust? We are going to adjust. We are going to tell these people that in the meantime, let us try to adapt to what we have. Let us change our way of life, because that is what we are going to start with. We are not going to start investing billions of dollars into something we haven't even thought of planning. Am I right? Denied. Here, even if we are to take the farmers, even if we are to take the negators at their best case, which is mitigation. Okay, fine. We have allowed denied. We have allowed to mitigate. But at what cost? Here, our parameters were equity and urgency. The urgency of the matter is not to mitigate, because not every country denied. Not every country is going to afford the money to try to mitigate the climate changes they're having. Let's take an example, for instance, in Algeria that we gave. The Algerians spend over 10 billion to cater for the climate change, but because they adapted, according to NASA.com, because they adapted to adaptive measures, their expense had reduced from 10 billion to 7.8 on their food expenditure on the previous report. And then what does that show us? We are not going to come and then start saying that, you know what, we are going to spend 10 billion on trying to mitigate climate change. You're talking about very expensive things. You're talking about, they gave us a course and talked about the burning of fossil fuels. But we are saying that adaptation is necessary in the face of unavoidable climate change. Even if global house gas emissions are significantly reduced, some degree of climate change is already locked due to the past emissions. So what does that mean? We have to adapt. Either way, we have to adapt. It is the most urgent. We are not saying that, because the negators are actually trying to convince us that mitigation is the best way, yet we are talking about the most urgent. We are here to clarify an issue. Most urgent is not the best way. Most urgent is a way that everyone is going to afford to do, and the thing that everyone on earth can do is to adapt. It is simply to adapt, not to start looking for ways for solving problems. Some people are living. Let's have an example of the Amazon forest. Are you going to tell the people of the Amazon forest, you're going to come and then start explaining scientific facts to them? These people don't know those things. So we are going back to the layman's language, which is adaptation, the most urgent response to climate change. I rest my case.
Our dear panel, ladies and gentlemen, the two antagonistic bodies. I'm Kwagala Jenna from St.John'S SS Wakitaka, and we are here to negate the resolution. Our dear farmers have come here telling us that their main aim is to bring up the most urgent response to climate change. But dear ladies and gentlemen, we want to find the most urgent response to climate change. And if we are finding the most urgent solution to climate change, that means we are interested in saving lives and not money. They come here telling us that adaptation is very cheap. Fine, it is cheap, but are we interested in saving money or saving lives. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are saving people's lives and not money, because money will not be important without people. They said that climate change is inevitable. Well, we don't agree with that, because climate change is inevitable. Well, our main aim here, we're talking about our main climate change is global warming. And global warming can be, we can prevent it, because it is mainly caused by burning of fossil fuels, which they are not aware of, rejected. And through us planting more trees, we are absorbing more carbon dioxide. We should have become harmful to people and harmful to lives. Therefore, here, this is the most urgent response to climate change, because we are saving nature, we are saving lives and not money. POI rejected. It's not that adaptation is not the only way, because we can't accept harsh weather conditions. They are not aware that in some areas, here even in Uganda, we are experiencing floods. Now, if there are floods, should we just adapt to the life that while there are floods? No, we should not. We should find a possible solution. Here, when we are mitigating, we're talking about mitigation. Well, we shall tackle the cause and find out the solution. That will be a lifetime solution. Well, there are some problems we shall avoid. Please, rejected. There are some solutions we shall get that will solve our lives in the future. We shall not just adapt to floods. Well, we shall not just adapt to droughts. Our dear ladies and gentlemen, granted.
Why? So where are you going to get the money? Because you're telling us you're saving money, you're saving lives, not money. But saving lives requires money.
That our parameter was worldwide. We shall use the International Monetary Fund as our funders. Dear ladies and gentlemen, so they are not aware that in some areas here in Africa and worldwide, there is where mitigation has worked and adaptation has failed to work. Now, like in Somalia, Syria, DRC, South Sudan, this is the information we got from the World Meteorological Organization. Dear ladies and gentlemen, they are not aware that mitigation will just we shall find the cause and then find a possible solution. But here they're only about finding how we can afford to stay at the meantime with it. Dear ladies and gentlemen, they're not aware that as we mitigate, as they adapt, we are introducing our mitigation methods as planting trees. Where planting trees will help us, it will absorb the carbon dioxide, because plants use carbon dioxide to make their own food, in case they are aware of that. Well, they say that mitigation is time wasting, but please, I don't agree that it is time wasting, because are we saving time or are we saving money? Here we are interested are we interested in saving time or in saving lives? We are interested in saving lives. So if you are saving time, we might keep on staying and saying that we shall adapt to the harsh weather conditions instead of avoiding them. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we should find out, we should tackle on the cause of these climatic changes like global warming, which we talked about. And we should not just sit there and agree with whatever they are saying. We cannot remain here agreeing agreeing with their lies. With that, therefore, I rest my case.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.